So I was lying in bed one time, and then I thought to myself, why is cancer not yet cured? I mean, I had many intelligent guesses. I thought of things like difficult R&D, constantly evolving whatever, and then this. Finally, after 35 years, I found the cure for cancer. This will be revolutionary. Hello, sir. I'm a big pharma agent. We heard that you found the cure for cancer. The big pharmaceutical companies would like to express our gratitude for helping the world be rid of cancer. Please go with us to this room right here. Well, I guess we need to find the cure for cancer, and it's available for only $1 million. Yeah, that came to my mind, but after spending time researching it, I was wrong. Cancer is hard to cure. It starts in one small cell in our body. Every cell has a set of instructions in its DNA. These instructions tell the cell how to work, when to grow, and when to stop. Most of the time, if a cell makes a mistake in its DNA, the cell fixes the error or stops itself from growing. Sometimes, though, a cell makes a mistake and does not fix it. That cell then grows when it should not and makes more copies of itself. The extra cells do not work the way normal cells do. They form a small lump called a tumor. A tumor is not just one group of cells that are all the same. The cells in a tumor can have many small differences. These differences come from extra mistakes in the DNA that happen as the cells grow and divide. When the cells in a tumor are not all the same, it makes the tumor very hard to treat. A treatment that works for one group of cells may not work for another group. This problem is one of the many reasons that cancer is so hard to cure. When a cell makes a mistake in its DNA, it is like a copy machine that does not work right. At first, there is only one cell with a mistake. That cell then makes more cells with the same mistake. Some of these cells may also get extra mistakes in their DNA. Each time a cell divides, there is a chance that more mistakes will be made. Over time, these mistakes build up. A healthy cell has ways to repair its DNA, but sometimes the repair does not work. The bad cells grow out of control. This loss of control makes cancer very difficult to stop. There are many kinds of cancer. In fact, there are more than 100 different types. Even though they all start with cells that grow too much, they are not all the same. Each type of cancer has its own pattern of mistakes. In one cancer, a cell may have a mistake that makes it grow very fast. In another cancer, a cell may have a mistake that makes it ignore signals to stop growing. Because each cancer has different mistakes, there is no one single cure. A treatment that works on one kind of cancer might not work on another. Some of the mistakes in cancer cells occur in genes that tell the cell to grow. These genes are called growth genes. When these genes get a mistake, they become overactive. They tell the cell to keep growing even when it should not. Other mistakes happen in genes that slow down cell growth. These are called break genes. When the break genes do not work, the cell grows too much. It takes several mistakes in the cell for a normal cell to turn into a cancer cell. Usually, the cell needs to get 5 or 6 mistakes before it becomes truly harmful. Our bodies try to stop cancer. The body has a system that looks for cells that do not work well. When a cell goes wrong, the body sends in its own fighters to kill the bad cell. These fighters are part of the immune system. They are like guards who look for trouble. When the immune cells find a cancer cell, they try to kill it. Often, the cancer cells die before they can cause a problem. This is why many mistakes in cells do not lead to cancer. But sometimes, a few cancer cells hide from the immune system. They learn how to send out signals that stop the immune cells from working. When this happens, the cancer cells can grow and make a tumor that the body cannot stop. Once the tumor grows, it needs food and air to live. To get these, the tumor sends signals to nearby healthy cells. The healthy cells then grow new blood vessels that feed the tumor. These new blood vessels give the tumor a way to get more food and oxygen. This process helps the tumor grow bigger. Even if a treatment can kill many of the cancer cells, some may be hidden deep inside the tumor. Some of these cells are like seeds that can start a new tumor later on. The tumor is not a simple mass. It is like a small city of bad cells. In the beginning, the city is small, and the body's fighters can come in and break it down. The body sends in immune cells, which work to kill the cancer cells. In many cases, the immune cells kill most of the cancer cells, and the tumor gets smaller, but a few cancer cells may survive. The survivors are the ones that were able to hide or that learn to fight back. These cells then grow into a new city that is stronger than the first. This process happens in 3 steps. First, the bad cells are made and the tumor grows a little. Then, the body's fighters come and kill many of them. Next, a few cells that are very strong stay alive. Over time, these strong cells grow and the tumor gets bigger. This makes the cancer even harder to cure. The new cancer cells that stay alive are not the same as the ones that were killed. They have learned to protect themselves. They change the way they work so that the treatment does not hurt them. For example, when the body or the doctors use chemicals to kill the cancer cells, some of the cancer cells learn to switch on their own shields. These shields protect them from the chemicals. This is one reason why a treatment may work at first, but then stop working later. The cancer cells change and grow stronger against the treatment. Another problem is that cancer is not just a mass of cells that live on their own. The tumor lives in an environment. This environment has many parts. There are healthy cells, blood vessels, and even some immune cells that have been tricked by the cancer. All these parts talk to each other by sending signals. The cancer cells can tell the healthy cells to help them. They tell the healthy cells to make new blood vessels and to send out signals that protect the tumor. This network of signals makes the tumor act like a living system that is very hard to stop. Even when scientists use new tools to study cancer, they do not see the whole picture. Most tests are done on cells grown in a dish in a lab. These cells come from real tumors, but they are not the same as the cells in a living body. In a lab dish, the cells do not have the many parts that make up a full tumor. They do not have the same environment with blood vessels and other cells. That means that a drug that works on cells in a dish may not work on a tumor in a person. This is one reason why many drugs fail when they are tried on real patients. The cancer cells are very good at changing. When they are attacked, they find a way to survive. They can change their shape and the way they use energy. Some of these cells are very fast at growing. Others are very slow. This mix of fast and slow cells in one tumor makes it hard to find a treatment that works on all of them. If a drug kills the fast cells, the slow cells may hide and then grow later. This mix of different cells means that cancer can come back after treatment. A small group of cells inside the tumor is even more dangerous. These cells are called cancer stem cells. They are rare, but they are very strong. Cancer stem cells are able to survive treatments that kill most of the other cancer cells. Even if a treatment makes the tumor shrink, one cancer stem cell can start a new tumor. This means that even when a patient seems to be better, the cancer might return because of these stubborn cells. Doctors and scientists use many methods to try to stop cancer. One common method is to cut out the tumor with surgery. When the tumor is removed, sometimes the cancer is gone, but if any cancer cells are left behind, they can grow back. Another method is to use radiation. Radiation is a strong beam that can break the DNA in cells. This can kill cancer cells, but it also hurts healthy cells that are near the tumor. This hurt can cause problems for the patient. Another method is to use drugs called chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is a mix of chemicals that go into the blood and kill cells that are growing fast. Cancer cells grow fast, but so do some healthy cells, like the ones in hair and in the lining of the stomach. That is why chemotherapy can make people lose their hair and feel sick in their stomach. Some treatments are made to work on a specific type of cancer. These treatments look at the specific mistakes in the cancer cells and try to fix them. This is called targeted therapy. Targeted therapy is a new way to treat cancer. It uses knowledge from studies of the genes in cancer cells. Scientists look at the genetic changes and try to find a drug that works on those changes. In many cases, the drug works well in the lab, but when the drug is given to patients, it does not always work as well. This is because the cancer cells are not all the same, and they can change over time. The same drug may work on one patient and not on another, even if they have the same type of cancer. Some scientists hope that the answer to cancer lies in using the body's own immune system. This is called immunotherapy. In immunotherapy, the immune cells are given a boost so that they can fight the cancer better. In some patients, immunotherapy helps the body to shrink the tumor, but even immunotherapy does not work all the time. The cancer cells can send out signals that confuse the immune cells, and the immune cells may not find all the cancer cells. Also, the immune system is very complex. It does not always work the way we want it to. This makes it hard to design a treatment that uses the immune system to cure cancer. Another part of the problem is that cancer is not one single disease. The term cancer covers many different diseases that start in different parts of the body. For example, cancer in the breast is very different from cancer in the lung or the brain. Each of these cancers grows in a different way. They come from different types of cells and have different sets of mistakes in their DNA. This means that each cancer needs its own treatment. The idea that one magic cure can fix all cancers is not possible because each cancer is unique. The study of cancer is very hard. Scientists have spent many billions of dollars to learn about cancer. They have used many modern tools. They have used electricity to study cells. They have read the code in our DNA, and they have even gotten rid of smallpox. Yet, they still do not have one cure that works for all cancers. This is not because the scientists are not smart. It is because cancer is very complex and tricky. The disease has many ways to hide and grow, and it changes as it grows. The more scientists learn about cancer, the more they see that it is not a simple enemy. Some scientists use a method called genome sequencing to study cancer. With this method, they can read the DNA of the cancer cells very quickly. This gives them a list of all the mistakes in the cancer cells. With this list, they try to choose a drug that can fix or block the mistakes. This method is called personalized medicine. In personalized medicine, the treatment is made to match the patient's cancer. In theory, this method makes a lot of sense. In practice, it is very hard to do. The cancer cells in a patient can change quickly, and different parts of the tumor may have different mistakes. This means that the list of mistakes is not the same for all the cancer cells. A drug that works on one group of cancer cells may not work on another group. Also, when scientists try to test these drugs in the lab, they sometimes get different results, even when they use the same type of cancer cells. This makes it hard to know which drug is the best choice. Some of the early studies of cancer were done on cells that were grown in a lab. These cells come from a tumor, but have been taken out of the body. In the lab, the cells are in a simple environment. They do not have the many other types of cells or the blood vessels that are found in a real tumor. This means that a drug may work on these cells in the lab, but then fail when it is given to a patient. The cells in a living tumor talk to each other and change their ways to survive. The lab tests do not show this full picture. Cancer cells are very good at learning and adapting. When they are attacked by a drug or by the body's immune cells, some of the cancer cells change the way they act. They may turn on new shields that keep the treatment away. This is why many cancers can become resistant to treatment. Even if a treatment makes the tumor smaller at first, the cancer may come back. When the cancer returns, it is often stronger and harder to treat. This process of change happens many times. The cancer cells learn from each attack, and each time a few cells survive. Over time, the surviving cells are very hard to kill. Some of the best treatments we have now, such as surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy, work by removing or killing most of the cancer cells. But they cannot kill every single cancer cell. The few cells that survive can grow into a new tumor. Even if a patient feels better for a time, the cancer can return because of these hidden cells. This is one of the reasons that doctors say that many cancers come back after treatment. The many ways that cancer can hide and grow are the reasons why it is so hard to cure. Even with all the new tools that scientists have today, cancer still wins many times. The disease is like a very smart enemy that keeps changing its plans. It has many tricks, and it works in many ways. Even if we slow it down or shrink it, it can come back. That is why, even though we have made progress and more people live longer now than many years ago, we do not have one cure for cancer. Every day, many people learn that cancer has come back after treatment. The chance of getting cancer is high. In the United States, about 1 out of every 2 men and 1 out of every 3 women will get cancer sometime in their lives. This high chance means that many people and their families suffer from cancer. Doctors and scientists work very hard to find new ways to treat it. They try many drugs and many methods, but each time, the cancer finds a way to fight back. The many different types of cancer and the many ways that cancer cells can change make it very hard to find one cure that will work for everyone. The bad cells in a tumor do not work alone. They send messages to nearby cells and get help from them. The cells around the tumor, the blood vessels, and even the immune cells may end up helping the cancer grow. This group of cells and signals is called the tumor microenvironment. The microenvironment gives the cancer a safe place to grow. It makes it hard for drugs to reach the cancer cells. It also makes it hard for the immune system to attack the cancer. Because of the many parts that work together in a tumor, it is like fighting an army that is well organized and hidden in many places. There are many clues that show why cancer is so hard to cure. The cancer cells change over time. They get many different mistakes in their DNA. They hide in a safe place with many other cells. They learn how to resist treatments. They are not all the same. They are like many little groups that each need a different plan to be stopped. The treatments we have now, like surgery, radiation, and chemicals, do not work on all the groups. Even when a treatment works for a short time, the cancer cells learn to fight back. This is why, even after many years of research and many billions of dollars spent, we still do not have one cure for cancer. Scientists are making progress slowly. The number of people who die from many types of cancer has gone down over the years. This shows that some treatments work and that doctors are learning more, but the progress is not fast enough to cure all cancers. Every time a new drug is made, it only works for some patients and for some types of cancer. The cancer that comes back is often much harder to treat. The idea of one magic cure is very simple. But the truth is that cancer is many different diseases with many different tricks. The work to cure cancer is like trying to fix a very large and very messy machine. The machine is made of many parts. Some parts work well, but many parts have broken. The machine sometimes works on its own, but sometimes it does not. The parts that are broken make the machine act in a way that is hard to understand. To fix the machine, one must know how each part works and how the parts work together. In the body, the machine is the cell and the tissue, and cancer makes the machine go wrong. Even when one part is fixed, another part may break. This is why cancer is not easy to fix. Some scientists hope that one day, doctors will be able to target each little part of the cancer. They want to use special tests to know exactly which mistakes are in the cancer cells. Then they can use a mix of treatments that match each mistake. This idea is called personalized medicine. Personalized medicine is a good idea in theory. In practice, it is very hard to do. The cancer cells change so fast that a test done one day may not be true the next day. Also, different parts of the tumor may have different mistakes. This makes it very hard for doctors to choose the right treatment. The tools to test the cancer in the body are still not as good as the tests done on cells in a lab. In many ways, the fight against cancer is a long and hard battle. The bad cells are like sneaky soldiers that learn from each fight. They hide when they are in danger and come out when it is safe. They learn new ways to keep the body's fighters from finding them. They make the body's own cells help them by sending out signals for food and air. All these tricks mean that even when the body or the doctors attack the cancer, some cells always survive. These survivors then start the battle all over again. This cycle of attack and survival makes it hard to completely cure cancer. The truth is that cancer is not one simple illness. It is many different illnesses that share one thing in common. They all start with cells that grow when they should not. The many different ways that these cells change and hide make it hard for doctors to stop them all. Each type of cancer needs its own plan. Even when a plan works for a while, the cancer may change its plan. This is why the cure for cancer is not a single pill or a single surgery. It is many treatments used at different times and in different ways.